Grabbing the throat of the forest cat, James fought to prevent its fangs from tearing out a chunk of his flesh. "Be a good kitty and get down." James used the dagger in his other hand and stabbed the monster in one of its eyes, driving the blade into the creature's brain. Blood squirted across his face while the body in his grasp shuddered before going limp. Throwing the monster on the ground, James looked at the others. "How are the rest of you?" He tried to catch his breath, but was happy to see that the others were still standing. Kate raised her shield. "We're good over here." Brushing aside strands of her long blonde hair, messy due to the fighting, Maya said, "It was only a few of them. At least for now." James massaged his neck with one hand while putting away his dagger with the other. Glancing at the numerous monsters around them, he said, "Make sure to check if any of them have those stones." Turning to look at the forest cat by his feet, James crouched down. "Hopefully, this thing will have one of those stones," he said to himself, pulling out one of his daggers. Piercing the flesh of the forest cat, the smell of blood filled his nostrils. He wrinkled his nose, never enjoying the scent, even if it was necessary. Pushing aside the ribs and opening up the chest cavity, James took a moment to look around the bloody innards. He used his dagger to prod and navigate his way until he saw the heart. Not seeing a stone, James sighed. It's not unexpected, considering it wasn't strong enough to put up a decent fight. At the moment, finding the stones was like gambling, since they had no way to know whether a monster would have a stone or not. The guild did inform them of a way to distinguish between ones that did have a stone and ones that wouldn't. An explanation that they provided was it took a monster of a certain level before it would start to develop the stone inside of itself. Since it was impossible to be sure whether a monster would be strong enough, the only way to tell was after it was defeated. There were methods during such a fight getting the feel of its level. A high-leveled monster would have a greater likelihood of having a stone inside of it. Did anyone find a stone? James looked to the others and asked, but not expecting them to have found any. Kate looked at James and shook her head. "Nope, none of these have stones." Sighing, Adam said, "I didn't expect these things to have any, considering how difficult it was to beat them." "Are we going to take them back with us?" Maya asked. She frowned as she looked at the corpses of the monsters around them. James looked at how many of them there were. "Why don't we just leave them behind, as we did with the other monsters? It's not like they'll give us that much for them," Adam said. Unfortunately, I think Adam is right. Compared to the request we finished, the bodies of these things are just going to drag us down, Peter said. "Our goal is to get out of this forest as quickly as possible." James knew that his group members were right on this topic. Out of curiosity, he glanced at chat to see what they thought about the matter.